It's what you've all been waiting for. The original Elephant Master, the Elephant Obsessed, the Dumbo fanatic from his childhood, Corvinus on the new Dumbo Civ. Welcome back to the show match, folks, where Corvinus has been absolutely stomping, stampeding over Myriad, almost like an elephant. So this seemed appropriate. We have got the Elephant Boys coming in the purple, but Myriad, I wouldn't write him off in this playoff 5. Sengoku Daimyo is pretty lit. This Civ is crazy strong. With these opening builds we've been seeing, their economy setup has looked really nice, and then their aggression afterwards has looked unrivaled. Now, what's interesting is, I think as the meta develops, Sengoku are going to get hamstringed by aggressive Civs because of the way they set up eco. But this isn't an aggressive Civ, folks. And we are using one of the new biomes. We're going to be on the Greek islands this time, which means if we have a look just right here, those aren't your normal berry bushes. And I really hope the devs do more of this. It's different skin bushes. We've got prickly pear bushes here. I'm going to have a lot of them over towards the deer and the boar. Yeah, so Myriad, he's already going for the Matsuri. Sengoku's pretty good on this map, actually. So Sunken Lands is where we're in for game number 4. And remember, the Yatai generates food based on nearby food sources. So berries, deer, boar. He's heading straight for that corner where he'll get maximum value. In fact, fun little detail, you can cram double Matsuri into each corner and cap them. Yeah, like the Matsuri is kind of crazy because the berries will give you 2. The deer will give you 4. There's 5 deer. So that's going to be 20 food. The berries is going to be an extra 24. And then the boar is 40. So that means with the base rate of 20 per yatai, you can only get an extra 40 on a yatai. So you cap at 60. So you just cram 2 into the corner. Now, the cool thing about this, although it makes you predictable, it does make it very easy to defend because you know where you're going to have to protect. So, Dome of Faith, now on the way for Corvinus. And Myriad, is he going for full free? I think he is. Wait, actually, like I just realized Myriad's Matsuri placement is quite unusual. So the Matsuri isn't just about building these yatai to generate food. It's a marketplace, and it's also a universal drop-off building. So why didn't he place it here? That's a bit unusual. Myriad, he could have saved himself 50 wood on the forge and another 50 wood on a lumber camp later if he just built it here. And the other reason like why that comes to mind is now this is only going to buff the berries and a baby gold. No, it doesn't even do that. Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked by that. It's a small important detail because the Matsuri itself costs 100 wood. And remember, your yatais you've just been producing, each time this bar fills out, they're going to send a care package back to buff the gathering aura around this thing. Early farms, even with early farms, like you could just place it here. Because if you place the Matsuri here, it's going to buff this area, so you can set up farms here. I think Myriad maybe just kind of forgot about it at first, and then he built a farmhouse and was like, oh yeah. Because there is probably that element of, wait a second, these are bushes. Because, you know, that's something that people will have to adjust to. The first time you load into Greek Island, this is really cool that we've got different versions of the berries. But at first look, your brain isn't necessarily going to process it that way. You'll be like, oh, that's different. That's not berries. So tech out complete. It is going to be Dome of Faith. Healer elephant time, folks. I have felt a bit weird about Dome of Faith, by the way. I feel like a lot of the players who've been going to Black have just been kind of instinctively building it and then not really even using it. I think the most this gets for usage is for a Monk timing onto relics. But even with those builds, most players haven't been building the imams before age 3. So it kind of doesn't really save you much compared to getting 15% attack speed on all elephants. The healer elephant is broken, though. Is it as broken as you think? I think the counter to healer elephants is just mass ranged. Because it has, what, 3 melee armor and 1 ranged armor? And then you can only buff its damage by having spearmen. Once you have men at arms, sure, different. But I think with spearmen, I think like the reliable answer is archers. Why they could be good here, though, is Myriad has crappy archers. The Sengoku Daimyo has the same crux that the Japanese do with the archer type. You build a lot of them, but the damage isn't very high. Where it can be mitigated, though, which is unique for the Sengoku, is just going straight up into the estates. Which it looks like he's doing. Myriad already on the stone. So remember, the estates allow you to unlock extra potential into your unit types of infantry, ranged, and cavalry. It's actually interesting. If you look at this expansion, multiple civs have this kind of fixation on upgrading a certain type of unit linearly. So the Sengoku Daimyo has this with their estates, upgrading either melee infantry, cavalry, or range units. And then you've got the Macedonians that kind of do something similar with the arsenal upgrades that replaces the blacksmiths. So Korf, spin beginning. Wait, more spears? Okay, yeah, misclick. We're getting the archers. Oh, Yari cavalry straight up though. So Myriad, this is kind of interesting actually because Yari cavalry do kill these elephants quicker as they have the cavalry tag. Yari cavalry are a very unique cavalry unit in that they counter cavalry units. They have +2 damage against them. Now you're not going to win a fight one-on-one. You're definitely going to need some scale here. But you can see there's a different fixation. Like one wants to go raiding, the other one's going all in. I do find this refreshing though. Shout out to Corvinus for finding a different way of playing Tuklak. Because so far, the majority of players' approaches with this have been to try and either 2TC in Fast Castle or Fast Castle and develop into Governors. The Governors are very difficult to do. Part of me feels like that system might need to be overhauled because it's just too expensive to lean into before Castle. For those who don't know what the Governors are, by the way, you build these cheaper keeps, which you can start building in Age 2. And then you put governors inside them that give different buffs to you. Economically, technologically, militarily. Yatai are going to get scared away. Yeah, he won't try to run them down. They take a long time to kill. I think he's just happy to idle them out. Has he got some care packages home? He has. Yeah, they're starting to come through. So he's ferrying them back now. The Matsuri buff is already up to 5%, soon to be 10. Actually, oh, is it going to be... Did he get another one just popping? No, I don't think he did. So it will just be the 10%. Remember, if you see these food traders running home and you snipe them, you stop your opponent getting 50 food, and you prevent them getting an extra 5% buff on gathering. Myriad? Wait. Okay, this is actually kind of a sick answer to elephants. The Cannibal Samurai do bonus damage based on your maximum HP, which means per strike into an elephant, the Cannibal Samurai, after damage reduction, with their big clonkers, are going to be doing 50 damage per hit. Wait, is that mass right? No, sorry, not 50. It's 6%, isn't it? Yeah, so we'll be doing something like, I think it's around 32 damage per strike, which is still really good. These aren't cheap, by the way. Cannibal Samurai do cost 160 resources. Wait, is it 27? I thought it would be about 30. Have you calculated the free damage as well? So it's a 450 HP unit. So you're going to do 26%. 26 in percentage. And then, yeah, you got the free melee versus free. Yeah, you're right. Good job. Basically 26.5 or 27. Yeah. Because your base damage is free. So if you upgrade your melee, it'll offset. They're still pretty quick, though. Challenge is you need a lot of them. And as you just heard me say, they're 160 resources. The Bonker Boys are pretty hard to spam. He did go for the... Is that the Hojo estate? Yeah, he's gone Hojo clan. So he's looking to buff up on his infantry. The problem here is, like... Do you just switch Spearman now? Because he's still going Cannibal, but the interesting thing here is Spearmen get more movement speed, so you'd be able to gap close the heal elephants. I guess he just doesn't want to because he is, of course, against archers. Whereas the Cannibal Samurai, they don't have much armor, but they have a lot of health, and they are categorized as heavy. So archers don't do double damage. This is looking weird for Myriad, though. It kind of looks like he's scrambling for the answers right now. Like, the heal elephant's shown up is like, okay, try this. Okay, how about this? How about this? We did talk about range being a good answer before, but the problem is he just needs so many Yumi to justify it. And the healing. Oh my god. That is 6 imams on a healer drive-by. Myriad, this littering of different units doesn't seem to be ticking the boxes. Horseman Artley is going to dive in for the archer kills. The Clonker boys can begin to get to work soon, you'd think, but come on, just die. Horseman able to start killing off some of these, but I think Miro's just dead again, man. This guy is not having a fun series. 4 melee armor. I think like the healer elephants just heal too much in combat. I'd be curious to know if they're getting impacted by the reduced healing when the unit's tagged as in combat. The problem here is actually, quite simply, the elephants heal while they move. That's what kind of makes it silly. This is even, in some ways, even more silly than the dervish heal. Because the dervish heal is at least a fixed increment of, like, was it 1 or 2 per second? Whereas these guys, you know, they're going to be healing... Each entity will be healing 7 health on a combat unit. If they're not in combat, they'll be healing 14 per second. That's freaking wild. I mean, at least he can't get herbal medicine. Oh my god. Do you guys remember the Delhi herbal medicine meta? When it was in Feudal Age? Imagine that here. Thank god we realized that before. Although I do feel like we're repeating history now that I'm watching this. Like, how is this reasonable? It's crazy as well, because like Sengoku should just be the Giga-Busted Civ. At least that's what most people have been convinced of. He's got a decent amount of archers. The problem I see here is the Myriad didn't upgrade into the Oda, so he hasn't got the +1 extra damage on his Yumi. So he's capped at 5 instead of 6. And you need a flurry of arrows here. Cannonbow spam? I don't think Cannonbow spam works. They're too slow. Remember, they move at samurai speeds. Their attack speed isn't that great either. Raider Elephant's not mine. Corvinus is just soul reading in here. And this is soul crushing. And there is indeed a new season of AE4 and a new expansion in T-minus 2 days, but you know when like you feel like you have an ethical responsibility? I feel like I'm there on that. Oh, I just realized before, thank you question mark for the gifted membership. Sorry I didn't respond about that earlier. You're a legend. But I appreciate everyone who's been subscribing and getting memberships or whatever. It does support us doing these type of things. And I guess because you guys keep subscribing, I am somewhat required to reveal these broken ass strategies. Like, this doesn't look balanced. They aren't cheap, don't get me wrong. Healer elephants are 370, but he made them cheaper anyway, because when you have the Dome of Faith, they're only 305. So you're basically paying 1.25 times a night for this, and I think it's wholly worth it. And holy crap! Corvinus is like, KP has another show match to get through. We need to speed this up. A bad 4 drop coming in. Yeah, we talked about this in the chat. People were like, wouldn't you just keep rushing? I was like, I don't think it's viable. But like this. Oh my god, that delay on heal, but what? No! That's ridiculous! He has 26 Yumi archers! 26 Yumi cannot kill 1 villager with textiles. I cannot believe this. It's just broken. The only reason he got killed there is because there's a delay on the healer elephants realizing that something's damaged, because they check every second instead of instantly. Even with that, Myriad got 3 kills and now has a castle in his base, and it's gonna be cheesy as all hell, guys. It's the governor of Ajmer. So this spawns men-at-arms for free in the Feudal Age even. And by the way, those men-at-arms can just be very tanky and healed throughout. Yeah, as long as he stays in aura, he won't decay. Even if he starts decaying, who cares? You've got heal elephants. He already gets a worker kill. Oh my god. This is this is gonna break the game. I mean, in some ways, I'm happy for the Tuklak fans because this Civ was looking like pure trash. And, you know, ones in chat, if you agree with this, like, we've cast quite a few Tuklak games, and they were looking like the worst Civ out of all the new ones. But this strat is wild. I do think for Myriad, there was kind of an element of, like, not being sure how to respond to this that has left his response a lot weaker than intended. That small little gap, that little doubt moment of not being sure what you should build has enabled Corvinus phenomenally well. And we do have the Clonker Boys. Cannavo now coming out. So remember, these are the ones that deal damage based on maximum HP. Corvinus. He's going to just front the Emir Warriors and the choke points. Remember, as long as he's back near the castle, he'll regain all of his stats. The longer you're away from the castle range of the Emir Warriors, the more stats they lose. Health, armor, it all starts to go down. Yeah, basically, Emir Warriors, the best way I saw it described, he's not even getting the series. The best way I heard it described is the way that Emir Warriors function is how they should have made the Kremlins function. And I agree. Alright, good job there, by the way. The Clonker Boys, the Cannibal Samurai get percentile damage against Rams as well. Not a bad idea. But this is ridiculous. We're now up to 6 healer elephants. Okay. Are you kidding me? Can we get any closer? A keep drop next to the TC. And the healer elephants. They're actually starting to hurt a little bit. The Emir Warriors are buffing up the damage of these elephants. They're getting a +7 there. What? I think like these elephants might need a toggle mode on what they're doing between fighting and healing. I don't know. They might need to actually just have... I think it's finally time, guys, to just say it. Healing needs to have a mana pool. Infinite healing with this is not balanced.